Well, it's a hidden racism that has been around for years. People of color having difficulties finding places to rent while their white friends get leases quickly and easily. And it looks like this was the case when 26-year-old Cape Townian Pol Osei recently inquired about an apartment to rent in Cape Town Central. He was simply told by the realtor that the landlord is race-specific and he should be looking elsewhere for a flat. There were no prizes, of course, for guessing that Pol is black. And when he cited the Constitution to the realtor that discrimination based on race is illegal, the woman simply responded with the word cool. That WhatsApp text conversation has since gone viral, and realtor has now reportedly been suspended from her company. Pol's also filed a complaint with the Estate Agency Affairs Board. He joins us now to update us on this important story this morning. But of course, is the real villain not the landlord who seemingly asked the realtor not to lease his property to people of color? Pol, a good morning to you. A terrible experience. I can only imagine how you felt. Take us to the very beginning, right? The conversations and where it started and when things started to change for you in those conversations.
Firstly, good morning, Naledi, to you and your viewers and listeners. Right at the beginning, I stay in Cape Town. My workplace is in the city centre. If you're from Cape Town, I live in the southern suburbs. And I wanted a place that was just close to the city centre to be close to work. So I went on to Property 24, which is just a national sort of leasing classifieds website. And I found an apartment that I liked, and I looked in the agent section. And I took the contact details and I opened up a WhatsApp conversation with the agent, Miss Gabriella Johnson. And inquired. I said, hey, this apartment looks really cool. Is it available? And she said yes, on a 12-month lease. And I said, great. I would like to view the apartment if possible. And after almost a 24-hour delay, I was informed that actually it's race specific. And I had a second message saying, I would love for you to be able to lease it, to rent it, but the client is very tricky. And I'm not sure about you, but for me, those are two contradictory statements. So I asked her what she meant by that exactly. After having no response, I said, okay, well, this just looks like racism. And so I informed her, I said, hey, this looks like racism. This looks illegal. Why does your business practice this way? Why are you doing business in a country with a very unforgettable history? Why are you practicing business this way? Why are you practicing business with, obviously boldly racist people? And I was told that that's apparently not illegal by this estate agent. And I pointed her to a section in the Constitution of our country, right, in the first 5 pages, and she said, well, that's cool, just dismissive, very much, I don't care attitude.
Sure. Yeah, cool is what she got.
Yeah. Exactly. And I said, hey, sorry, this is illegal. And I was told, okay, well, then go and find another place, essentially. And after that, I was actually off on the conversation, and then I proceeded to report her.
Yeah, and you reported them to the Estate Agency Affairs Board. Have you gotten a response yet from the rental company? Has anyone issued an actual apology?
Yeah, so I've received several phone calls from the estate agency that she's currently affiliated with, according to the board, and that's Tyson Properties. I've received a few phone calls from representatives there, issuing apologies and making it clear that she doesn't work there any longer and she doesn't represent them. I've also received apologies from representatives of Live Real Estate, which is the other estate agency, also issuing apologies and saying specifically that they don't conduct business in this way. From Ms. Johnson herself, I haven't received a personal apology. She hasn't phoned me, she hasn't sent a message, she's actually blocked me, which is strange. But she issued some kind of a statement to the media, and I had to read it from the media like everybody else. And it wasn't personal in any nature. It doesn't have my name in it, and it's not directed to me. So I don't take it as an apology at all.
Yeah, would you want to hear from the property owner as well, who essentially set this rule that they don't want people of color living in their home?
Yeah, I think, not for me alone, but for everyone who's ever experienced this, it's nobody, we're always told that this is racism and this is what happens. But I think to open up the discussion further, to identify what's at the root cause of these issues, it would be important for people like this property owner, who, by the way, I don't know who they are and I have no way of contacting them, to be able to say, hey, this is what I have said. This is what my relationship is with the agency. This is how I feel about tenancy, about how, and this is the way I go about choosing people to live in my property. I think that would be quite important.
Yeah, have you consulted any lawyers?
Yes, I've spoken to a few sort of legal practitioners, and some people who are familiar with the sort of the laws of this country and the Constitution and any of the sort of the acts and stuff that are relevant to this incident. And I've gotten some advice around what avenues I can take. And what's possible and what's not possible. And I intend to use all the resources available to me. I feel like this has gone on for too long. I think almost 5 years ago, the estate agents signed a pledge after the penny sparrow incident to say that to say no to racism. And I had to experience this not 3 days ago. So clearly that kind of thing doesn't really work. So right. We need a new independent solution.
Yeah, well, one would hope that lessons are being learned through your experience as well. Thank you so much for speaking to us. 26-year-old Cape Townian Pol Osei was barred from renting a flat in the CBD because of the color of his skin.